Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we are back with the final of the brand new Paleo Revived series figures for Wave 1. Again, this is only the beginning for these figures, and this time we've got ourselves the largest figure of the entire wave, the Allosaurus. And this is one that I was definitely excited to check out because it is a very nice looking version of a Jurassic World style Allosaurus. Dare I say maybe the absolute best on the market when it comes to the overall design and appearance. Like, it looks so unbelievably nice here. And, of course, it's another one of those figures that came unpainted. I painted it up, so if the paint job doesn't look that great, that's my fault. You know, of course, yours could look however you'd like, but this is the paint job that I gave it, and I felt like it looked pretty fun. Basically, I achieved what I was going for with this version of my Allosaurus. Another thing you may notice is this is another of the Paleo Revived figures that does sport articulation, so we've got a few different articulated joints on this one. And on top of all of that, another thing you may notice is that I do have a stand holding this one up because this one seems to be a little top heavy for me. It's not really standing too well for me quite yet, but I haven't really messed around with it too much. I basically just finished painting it and really wanted to get this review filmed and, you know, up on the channel. So as always, let's go ahead and jump straight to a closer look at this and we'll check it out from there. So starting up here at the head sculpt of our Allosaurus, again, when you look at that, you can really see how great of a job they did when it comes to capturing the overall likeness of the Allosaurus from the Jurassic World franchise. I think they definitely did a very good job. You can see the skin texture looks nice. You have very nice looking scale detail. You can really see here on the lower jaw. Same deal for the upper side. Of course, you can see the crests are sculpted really nicely here for our Allosaurus. Finer scale detail as you get up closer to the tip of the snout and the nostril area. The nostrils themselves are sculpted out. The detailing there in the eye area also looks really quite nice. You can see we do have an articulated jaw, which opens about that wide and closes about that far. It can't really close any further than that, but it can open pretty nicely. I did knock a few of the teeth out by accident, but I actually kind of like it that way because, you know, dinosaurs like this would of course be losing teeth as time goes on, you know, depending on what they're biting into. They're going to drop a few teeth from time to time. So it kind of looks like some of the teeth are growing back and some are knocked out. All kinds of different things going on the inside of the mouth. You can see the tongue is also sculpted out, and I gave it the bluish coloration that we see for the tongue on the Allosaurus. You can see right there. And again, the detailing on the inside of the mouth on the upper side also looks really, really good. If my camera would focus on it, which it just really, for some reason, doesn't seem to want to. But as you lead back here into the neck, you can see the skin texture looks really good. You can also see some ridges following along the back of the dinosaur there, following along the spinal column. You can also see how good the detailing looks up here. As you lead down, you can see this little area here, which has like a little opening here, a little separation. That's because of the neck articulation. I'm not really sure what you could do to kind of eliminate this gap. I was trying to think of it myself, and considering the way that this is sort of applied, I really don't know how you would do it, but I'm sure Dino Mike Mac is going to continue to work on that. He's always trying to find new ways to improve these figures, but obviously you have neck articulation, so you can have the neck go all the way down, or it can go up pretty high, so definitely some nice articulation on our Allosaurus. As you move down, you continue to see again that we have the really nice scale detail. You continue to see that scale detail and skin texture as you move down into the body. We still have those ridges following along the back, though they start to taper off in size as you lead back into like the mid-back, approaching the hip region. As you move down into the arms also look good. You've got the muscle definition showing right there. You can see the fingers are also nicely sculpted. You can see some scoots moving down the fingers, and you can also see again that the nails have a nice genuine sharp look to them. You also have articulation in the arms, again, forward and back, and they can move really quite nicely, really quite far. Like, you could absolutely swivel them all the way around if you choose to. As you move back into the stomach region, again, the skin texture looks really good on this Allosaurus. It really, really does. Probably some of the nicest fine detailing, I think, through the entire wave, through the entire series so far, you'll find on the Allosaurus. As you move up here, you can again see how the ridges continue to decrease in size before they begin to pick back up again as you lead back there in past the hip region into the tail. As you lead down into the leg, you can see the leg looks It's definitely nice and muscular, but it's not like overly defined, which I am a big fan of. You also have articulation in the legs, again, forward and back. Pretty much the same type of articulation that we saw in the arms. And of course, you're going to have all of that same thing going on for the opposing side. Again, the arm articulation over here, leg articulation, just like we saw on the first side. Again, the really nicely sculpted legs. Not really too much of anything different. You can see that the toes have some nice scoots moving down. You've also got the nice pointed nails and everything. We do have dew claws as well. Again, the skin texture continues to look really good. And as you lead out through the length of the tail, you again, as I mentioned, see the ridges increase in size, but then decrease again as you lead out there into the tail. And you've got a really long tail that ends in a nice tip. You can really see again some significant tail length for our Allosaurus. So show you the opposing side again as well, same deal. It's pretty straight out, so there's not really much of any difference or anything that you're going to see from one side to the other. Again, as you move along the top, you can really see how beautiful the scale detail and skin texture looks. And again, the incredibly impressive fine detailing of the underside of our Allosaurus. So, like I said, definitely one of, if not the best from the series overall. Absolutely my personal favorite. As far as the size goes, lengthwise, you're looking at about 17¼ inches, or around 44 centimeters, and height-wise, in the position it's in, just a little under 5¾ inches, or a little under 14½ centimeters. But of course, you could alter that if you have the Allosaurus stand more upright. That's really up to you. But as far as a size comparison goes, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Allosaurus, Robert Muldoon, and the Collect A Human being next to our Paleo Revived Allosaurus. And you can see again, it has a very nice size to it. Very impressive, very large, and by far the largest in this series. For another comparison, we also have a Mattel Velociraptor and Dilophosaurus here, stepping in next to our Allosaurus. Then when it comes to a comparison next to your average Mattel Allosaurus, you can see that the Paleo Revived version is a little bit bigger, definitely kind of similar in body mass, similar in the head sculpt size, but the overall Allosaurus from the Paleo Revived line is definitely a good bit larger. If we actually pull it forward here, you can see again that the Paleo Revived version is definitely significantly longer for sure, but just overall a good bit larger. Then when it comes to a few Paleo Revived comparisons, we have the Spinoceratops, which you can see is significantly smaller. We've also got the Smilodon from the Paleo Revived line as well, again, quite a bit smaller than our Allosaurus. And then again, the same deal for the Ornithomimus, who is trying his hardest to stand upright to go face to face with that Allosaurus. Still nowhere near the same size. Definitely a nice meal, though, for the Allosaurus. The only figure in the line as a whole that comes close to the size of the Allosaurus would be this one here with the Nanuqsaurus, which clearly is still no competition for this Allosaurus. So this Paleo Revived Allosaurus is another very cool figure, and overall I feel like is kind of like the grand finale for the first wave, although there is still one other figure in the first wave that I did not get my hands on quite yet, which would be the Oviraptor, and again I will be getting my hands on at some point in the future, but the entire line honestly has been fantastic. I've been loving all of these figures, so many really cool species, and of course just really nice, and in some cases articulated dinosaur figures, which you can never go wrong with, and even, you know, a pterosaur and a smilodon as well. But the Allosaurus, I think, is definitely the pinnacle of the first wave. The sculpt is really well done, the fine detail is really well done, and the fact that the Allosaurus is just, in my opinion, looking so nice and super screen accurate helps to make the Allosaurus even cooler overall. I would really like to see a Carnotaurus enter this line, hint hint. Dino Mike Mac, in case you are listening, I would love to see that. But again, the Allosaurus is probably my favorite Jurassic World Allosaurus figure that is out on the market currently. I feel like when it comes to the overall appearance, Dino Mike Mac has perfectly captured this Allosaurus, better than I think anyone else has up until this point. The paintwork, of course, was done by me, so it would be, up to you guys, I guess, to decide if I did a good job or not. I'm pretty happy with it. It's not great, but, for the most part, I captured what I was aiming to capture, so I'm happy with the paint job overall. But then again, who knows, sometimes I touch my paint jobs up after the videos are over when I realize there's an area I'm not a big fan of, so it could happen. It may not. Who knows? But either way, I'm definitely happy with it. And if of course, a large portion of why I'm happy with it is because the sculpt looks so good that it practically paints itself. The fact that it does have articulation is also really fun. Something I'm always a big fan of is articulated dinosaur figures, and the fact that it is so sizable as well helps to make this figure stand out and just look so impressive on display. If you are interested in this, as well as all of the other awesome figures from the Paleo Revived line, I would definitely suggest heading to the links that I will include in the description to go on over and grab this Allosaurus from Dino Mike Mac. Again, if you are interested in any reviews of the other figures that I have reviewed in the Paleo Revived line, you can definitely check out the playlist here on the channel as well, again, to check all of that out. And like I had mentioned the entire time, these figures are so awesome because they're so nicely done, but so conveniently priced, and this Allosaurus is $24. Again, for an Allosaurus of this size, of this quality, with articulation, that is definitely a great deal. So if you are interested, check those links, go grab this absolutely epic Allosaurus, and like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.